Sooner or later it happens, but don't despair. Ciao a tutti, io sono Alessio e benvenuti su Solo Cose Nuove. Let's figure out together how to get by with the rain during a cycle trip. A little premise. There are 1,000 variables and each traveler is different in terms of equipment and lifestyle. So I'll tell you my experience and how I deal with the bad weather. Is it worth taking the bike and go out when it rains? In this video I'll try to answer this question and how to do it. Let's begin to describe the situation. My trip was by train and bike. We left Turin and arrived to Cervia quickly, but soon there would be many problems.
Evitare la zona del parco fluviale, la pista ciclabile è limitrofa.
We actually didn't use the bike during the thunderstorm, but let me explain. The trip was organized with a little notice and a lot of urgency. The weather condition didn't turn well, but we left anyway, hoping for the best. Half an hour of train from Cervia, we received the alert message from Civil Protection.
Ale, è arrivato un messaggio.
Comunicazione della protezione civile.
Schools and commercial activities closed, weather warning and invitation to stay barricaded at home. Unfortunately, we were in the eye of the storm during the flood days in May 2023. In our case, it went very well because apart a lot of rain, we didn't suffer any damage. The situation was critical. Our priority was always been the safety, but I don't want to miss the opportunity to do something and create content even in adverse weather conditions. What do we do?
Quindi che si fa oggi?
The first thing, simple but potentially disastrous, change the entire editorial plan created ad hoc in the previous week. I repeat it because it's important. Safety is and must be always the priority. So we concentrated all the activities to be done outdoors on the first day because the weather still allowed it. On the second day, instead, there were water bombs and deadly wind up to 70 km per hour. Unless of extreme necessity, it was unthinkable to use the bike. It's not enough to dress properly and use a waterproof camera to take a good video. The danger was too high, therefore we preferred to create content indoors.
Si organizzano piani editoriali micidiali per il prossimo periodo.
For example, the unexpectedly spectacular recipe I released on Solo Cose Buone, which is my second channel. Impossible situations. There are rare cases in which it is necessary to leave the house, maybe with the need to bring the bike with you. For example, suppose you have to go back home, so you have to take the train bringing your bike. It doesn't stop raining, and the train doesn't wait for you. How can you do it safely? For these cases, there are some useful tips. Dress properly. Technical and rainproof clothing, jacket and over trousers. Avoid ponchos and similar because they could do the sail effect and throw us off the bike. If you can, use a wide tire with low profile wheels. Lower the tire pressure to have more grip on the road. Pay attention to the paddles because you can't see how deep they are. Reduce the speed to avoid slipping. Brake in advance, especially near traffic lights and crossroads, because the braking distance is extended. Final considerations. Cycling in the rain is always a beautiful emotion. When you can do it safely is really wonderful. But remember that the safety is always the first thing to consider. In fact, you can fall easily and get really hurt. It's not worth it. By the way, follow me on solocosenove.it. Thank you for being with me today and see you in the next exciting video.